Data from the CDC shows a growing number of school-age children are getting exemptions from vaccines.
Vaccination coverage among kindergartners nationwide fell last year among reported vaccines. WKYT's Jeremy Toms was at Lexington's free flu shot clinic earlier tonight, and there he talked with health officials about the clinic and those latest numbers.
Kevin Hall says the Lexington Fayette County Health Department came to the Fayette Mall Thursday ready to fight the flu.
This is a great location because not only does it allow more people who are just out shopping to come by and see their flu shot, it's a reminder for those who don't get it today to get it sometime this season.
They gave out around 400 shots in 4 hours. One of those went to Christy Netwick.
It's a little part that you can do to keep your community and the public in general safe.
The clinic comes just after the CDC released new findings. Vaccination coverage decreased among the country's kindergartners this past school year, and there's an increasing number of young children taking exemptions.
Well, it's unfortunate to have those dropping, but I know that our school health nurses do an amazing job.
Kentucky does buck the national trend. Measles and pertussis immunizations have risen over the past 2 years, but with a 90 to 91% coverage rate, the Commonwealth still falls short of the national average.
We've heard too many people who are just opposed to getting any sort of vaccine, and we're afraid that those diseases will make a comeback.
So Hall says that hosting a visible clinic like this one is significant for more than just getting your flu shot.
Hopefully that's a reminder that this is something that can be trusted, and we're here to answer questions for people. But we're happy to talk about any vaccine at any time.
In Lexington, Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
Well, if you missed today's clinic, Hall says starting October 7th, the shots will be available at their public health clinic by same-day appointment. It will be for those who are underinsured or do not have insurance.